Monoma is ruining the game. Monoma is still the most disgustingly broken character
I
in the
hate
game.
Monoma.
I've had enough of Monoma. Before Monoma ever released in My Hero Ultra Rumble, the community was already buzzing, as his emblem was part of the big emblem leak that happened over a year prior, sparking speculation about how his quirk would be adapted into a battle royale format. Up until that point, Monoma hadn't appeared in a major My Hero game, aside from the mobile game Ultra Impact, so fans of the games were curious and honestly a little nervous. I mean, copying other characters' powers is a cool concept in theory, but in a competitive setting, that's a balancing nightmare. When he finally dropped, Monoma didn't just meet expectations, he blew past them. His quirk copy allowed him to take any quirk skill from another character and use it as his own, without restriction. Combined with what felt like infinite cooldown resets, that sort of flexibility made him one of the most disruptive characters the game had ever seen. You weren't just fighting Monoma, you were fighting whoever he decided to become. 3 different people, and that made him nearly impossible to prepare for. At launch, Monoma had 300 HP, which gave him enough durability to survive most engagements while still dishing out top tier damage with whatever skill he copied. The community quickly realized that his strength wasn't just in the numbers, it was in the freedom. He could copy zoning quirks, burst damage quirks, quirks that boosted his mobility, and rotation possibilities. The fact that he was able to rotate between them with his special action made him unpredictable in a way no other character could match. He wasn't just strong, he was adaptable in a way that broke the usual rules of engagement in a fight. The first attempt to tone him down came on July 23rd, 2025, when his HP was dropped from 300 to 250. It was a clear signal from the devs that they were aware of the problem, but it didn't go far enough. Monoma was still dominating lobbies, and the community knew it. The issue wasn't just his survivability, it was the fact he could outplay nearly any character by simply becoming them, but better. The HP nerf made him slightly easier to punish, but it didn't stop him from running the show. Then came the September 24th patch, which took a more direct shot at his core mechanics. His quirk skill beta, Gyrate, had his charge time reduced, a buff that made it more responsive. But the real change came to his special action, titled Skill Switch. The gauge consumption was increased, and the reload speed was slowed significantly when all the ammo was depleted. In practice, this meant you can only switch quirks twice before hitting an 8 to 9 second cooldown. For a character built around adaptability, this was a major blow. It forced players to be more deliberate with their choices, but even then, Monoma's ability to access the best tools in the game kept him in the upper tiers.
The power of our bonds!
On the same day as the September 24th patch, OFA Deku was released, and with him came a new level of chaos. Players discovered that if Monoma copied Deku's Gamma, second transmission, he could stay airborne for an extended period of time. And this wasn't just a mobility trick, it was sort of a full-blown exploit, as the devs never intended it for it to be that way. Monoma could basically hover above the battlefield, avoiding danger while waiting for his cooldowns, or repositioning for future attacks, and it really broke the flow of combat with him, and it quickly became one of the most complained about interactions in the game.
What the hell is that shit going to do? Oh my!
Again, the devs were once again under pressure to respond. That response came in the form of a planned nerf for November 20th, 2025, so all the way from September to November is when they finally responded. This time, The devs weren't just tweaking the numbers, they were addressing the core philosophy behind Monoma's design. Copied Quirk Skills would now deal roughly 80% of their original damage. The idea was simple: if you're going to have access to everyone's quirks, you shouldn't be using them at full power. It was a long-awaited change that many in the community saw as a necessary step towards balance. Others worried it would gut his viability, but most agreed that something had to give. Looking back, Monoma's time in mhur has been one of the most turbulent in the game's history. He launched as a novelty, quickly became a menace for himself, and forced the devs to rethink how they handle characters with open-ended mechanics. His ability to copy and rotate between quirks made him a nightmare to balance, and even after multiple nerfs, he remained a top-tier pick in the right hands. The community's reaction has been a mix of awe and frustration, because, love him or hate him, Monoma changed the game, and that's not something many characters can say.